This video is going to show a Solar Flawless Preservation Pinnacle mission that was unlocked when the raid got completed. So I'll go over that. I'm doing this on a hunter. The mission is 1540 in power, so once you get 1540 in power, it's pretty easy. Below that, that's a different story. So I'm using Hunter Night Stalker, Moebius Quiver, really good tether. Gambler's Dodge, Vortex Grenade, Aspects, a Stylish Executioner, Vanishing Step. Fragments, there's new fragments being unlocked. The new one that I am using is defeating targets with grenades, grants volatile rounds to avoid weapons. Echo of Undermining, Echo of Remnants, Echo of Expulsion. That's the setup of fragments we're using. We're pairing that with the Orpheus rig, which just makes us be able to do 3 tethers for Moebius. We're using a volatile round build. So we've got Volatile Flow on the seasonal mod, Font of Might, so when we pick up a Void Well we get a Void Weapon bonus. Reap and Wellmaker, when we dodge on our next final weapon blow we get a Void Elemental Well. We then have Well Tenacity, so when we pick up the Well we've got that resistance. And we've got Powerful Friend Zone for a bit of mobility. Overload SMG works everywhere. Anti-barrier bow works everywhere in the game, so you can use those seasonal mods anytime, even if there's no champs. There is no champs in this. SMG loaded on as well. Void damage resistance, concussive dampener, because there's a lot of snipers in this, so I would recommend at least 1 void resistance on. Fusion rifle scavenger, couldn't really fit sword scav on. Double bomber, so we get grenade energy each time we dodge, which we'll be doing that quite a bit. Weapon wise, I'm using the Stasis fusion rifle Deliverance, which is from the raid. Funnelweb, Perpetual Motion Frenzy, because it's void, and Black Talon. So we're trying to get as many void weapons in this as possible. So Black Talon works with Volatile Rounds, Funnelweb does of course. Obviously I understand people aren't going to have this fusion, so the standard loadout for this I would say is Fallen Guillotine, Wither Horde, Funnelweb. Those 3 weapons will be more than good enough to deal with this. Even Galahorn, whatever you think, whatever you're comfortable with. I just went with this because, as I say, I'm trying out this Stasis fusion, and I want to test Volatile Rounds with Black Talon. That is the only reason. That's the setup I'm using. So as you start this mission, it's basically going to be spawning in where the raid entry point is. This mission is essentially the opening encounter of the raid, but it's a solo version of it, I guess. So this first section you don't actually need to clear any of the ads at all. If you can just melt down Savathun, all ads will despawn and then you'll be able to go to the next section. I'm just trying out a bit of Black Talon damage, see how that's doing, not too bad. So we're going invis when we're weak. Add this fusion for damage. It's not a bad fusion at all. I haven't got any damage bonuses on it. It's not, I don't know what the rolls are, I haven't looked on it, but it is a nice feeling fusion for sure, and it stays. So once you've done that you can then summon your Sparrow and get to the starting location. It's where you're going to be on the moving obstacle, and you're going to go from place to place picking up buffs. Okay, there's not a lot to sort of tell you, but just enemy spawns I guess. For each phase, there's a couple of snipers. There's an ogre. There isn't 3 ogres like there is on the raid version. There's only 1. So they've dressed this version down as opposed to what the raid version is. Right? But the concept of it's all the same. It's just the solo version of it. So we get our first set of ads. We'll take the ogre first. Use Black Talon just to melt them down. Whatever weapon, if you're using Galley, I'm sure Galley will pretty much one-shot the ogre. So the key of it is make sure you take the ogre first. Well, that's one of your first jobs. We have Volatile Rounds here, so we'll make advantage of that. Not all ads need to be cleared, but you're not timed, so to speak. You are with the debuff. Like if your debuff's going up, obviously you're going to wipe it times 10. So just all you need to get rid of that debuff, if you don't know, is just go back to the obstacle that moves, stand there, and you'll get rid of your debuff. So the way these little collectibles work, they stack up to 3 times. When you get So let's see where it goes. It goes heightened, brimming, and overflowing. So overflowing's max stacks. It doesn't really matter how you pick them up. Like, you don't have to do all of them max 3 stacks. That doesn't matter like that. But obviously, you're best off just picking 3 up if you can. But it doesn't really matter. Okay, you're not timed. There's no debuff now. The debuff only starts once you start to enter a zone. Once you get rid of that, and the odds are, I think when most of the odds are down, that debuff goes. Then you're free to just sort of free roam. I'm going to put Void Damage Resistance Concussive Dampener because I'm using a sword, so just in case. There's some snipers up on left. I haven't got the best weapon to deal with them, so an auto rifle could have been just as good in this. A 9 Hunger Void, you know, I could have done that. But what it is, if you don't take the snipers out, then the snipers will actually come round to a cliff to come get you. It just depends on how comfortable you are. You can leave them up. I end up leaving them up. It just depends on whether they have much visibility on you. On this zone they don't. So you can see I've got Pervading Darkness ×2, right? So it's going up. But obviously I know it doesn't. I've got till ×10 to get rid of that. That's debuff gone. Now we can focus some of these ads. You don't want to leave too many ads alive because they will get in the way of you trying to sort of pick up all the buffs. So he's just as well clear them all. As I said, one scorn's up, that's fine, just leave them up. They're not linked, so to speak, to the collectibles. Once you get your ogre down, everything, you're good to go. The sniper's up on the top cliff, but as I said, on this location they can't see you, so I'm just leaving them. I'm just leaving it. Oh, in actual fact, I do go and take them anyways. Huh, say my words. But yeah, you don't need to. When the obstacle's moving, you get Screebs spawning with chieftains. Try and take them out before you get to the next area, because they will just follow that obstacle to the next area, and then you'll have to take them out on top of snipers, etc. You're just improving the risks of dying. I don't think there's any trying for solo flaws for this. I haven't looked. I probably will look after posting, but I don't think there is. But if there is, I'll update the title and the video and everything for that. I just haven't bothered to look for that yet. So here's the Scrape spawning. This is mid phases. Just make sure you try and take them while you can. Use the nade here to take out the captain while we can. That's good. But as you can see, there's not a lot to this mission. My thoughts on this mission are, I mean, I've literally only played it for like 30 minutes and it's too long. Okay, I like the idea of it's a condensed solo mission that's from the raid, but it's too long. It's a bit boring at the start. You're just going from section to section. In a raid, it's a different environment because there's 6 of you, so you can optimize it. But the solo version of it, it's a bit. When we get in the pyramid, it's interesting enough. It's not too bad. I don't know if it's better than the Vox Obscura. I think that's a better Pinnacle mission, if you like, as opposed to this. But this mission's good. It's interesting enough. And there's interesting dialogue at the end, which I haven't included all of that in the video. Right, so if you want to know that, then just on your own completion. But you do end up, when the mission completes, you have like a lot of seconds to go and explore. So there's a lot of stuff with this mission, I believe. There'll probably be a lot of secrets, which I haven't looked into at all. I'm just focusing on you getting this soloed. That's it. So I don't know any secrets, lore, chests, I don't know. I don't know any of that right now, because I'm literally just making this video as quickly as possible after we've done the raid. So that'll update over time. Just be careful of these scrapes, that was weak there. Throw smoke on the enemy, we're getting invis. Yoka spawned in, which I was late on, that's fine. But as you can see, Volatile Rounds is working well with Black Talon. That's why I wanted to use it, because I was wanting to use the Stasis Fusion, and obviously I wanted to use Funnelweb, so I was like, oh, I want a good Void weapon. And I'm not a huge fan on Deathbringer. I'm not sold on it at all. It's just too clunky to use. It's good in its own right, but it's too clunky. As far as rockets go, I'd rather use Coil, Galahorn, but Deathbringer, no. So I wanted to use something Void based exactly, so I'll try Black Talon. Or I could have just used a standard legendary rocket, my royal entry. Could have just done that, which wouldn't have been a bad choice at all. We'll pick up these remaining buffs. There's only 2 left because I've picked up 1 before. Oh no, there's 1 left on the far left. You don't need to be entirely in the vehicle, whatever it's called, for it to move. Okay, you don't need to be on top of it the whole time. You'll see me at times, I'm not standing on top of it like this, and it's still making its transition to the next location. It won't stop, in other words. It will only stop when it gets to the next location. It'll say on the bottom left hand side, down in the deep or whatever. Snipers on the right, they are the priority, so I'm going to go for those. I'm going to go invis. I was saving invis for this bit. Take out the 3 snipers. Down in the deep. That means we're on the next location. The closer you get to the pyramid, then you know the progress that you make. Take out the ogre, find out where the spawns are. The more you do this, the more you'll know. The spawns are the same. The ogre will spawn in each location the same. Now, as for the items that you pick up, there might be some RNG to that. There might be some different spawn points. I think there is, but don't quote me on it. Some snipers up behind us. Let's make sure I take those out. This fusion's really nice because it heals you. So it's got a perk where the more kills you get, when you reload after those kills, you get a good bump to your HP. Again, I don't know much about this perk and what have you, and I'm not here to sort of tell you what it is, but I'm just giving you some additional information on this raid perk, on this weapon. Ads are clear, just pick up the remaining artifacts. The ship's just basically there, so I believe this is the last one. There'll be more ads when the obstacle moves, Screebs, captains, the same deal. One thing in this mission, I don't think I saw it, but there was no raid banners nowhere. I didn't see any raid banner locations, so it might be handy just to fill up on heavy before you start. Go to the moon, spend your mats near Erismon, or go to a public event. Rally the public event, you start with full heavy. Not that you need to do that, but it's just a bit annoying if you're really low on ammo for like the entire thing, which I was for the most part, but I didn't have all my finders on. Goes to show, this is why I always say run finders, but I didn't take my own advice. Make sure you run your finders. Just I was running Powerful Friends on my helmet, that's all. But as I say, I just want to get I wasn't want to sort of do a full build craft for it, because you really don't need, when you're doing stuff at power, you don't need to like fully go on your character and like everything needs to be optimized. Definitely not. When you're playing casual, this is me playing, when you're playing casual, you're playing casual. Okay? You don't need to be everything perfect. Which sometimes you see me, I'm playing with the wrong mods on, or whatever I might be doing, because I'm always continually changing the build constantly, always playing with different things. A lot of people have asked for dim loadouts off me. I'm not going to give you that. A reason being is because it won't make sense to you, because it's a mess. You'll go on my characters, you'll see what's he running here, what's he running. It won't make any sense to you. Okay, not until we get out of this first month or 2 to 3 weeks of this season. Then I'll start, you know, gravitating to one setup for quite a bit. But right now I'm all over the place with different fragments, different mods, different things, different weapons, constant. So it's a constant change, plus grinding XP, plus grinding all that, grinding your levels, grinding bounties, you're constantly switching stuff up. So I don't need to share that stuff. So if you ask for the dim loadouts, I'm not going to give you it because it's pointless me doing it. if you wanna know what I think about a certain build, then ask me that. Then I'll be able to tell you right off the bat, well, this is what I think about it. You need to ask me the question rather than me sharing your dim, because it'll just make you more confused than what you need to be. This is the final section. You'll know because the obstacle will go in this little housing thing, whatever it is, and that'll open up the main door to the pyramid. Then you'll be able to explore. There's a lot of things that you can go and look at in here, but obviously I'm just going to streamline it, bypass all that stuff and get to the actual second encounter of this, which is the funner side of it. The first section, as I said, it goes on a little too long. They probably could have cut that first section in half, had the obstacle probably spawn closer to the pyramid than it would on the raid. Make a little more sense, because it's just forever and you're just doing basically the same thing, picking up the relics and, you know. But it's a Pinnacle mission, I ain't complaining, right? I'd rather this than the adding some random Pinnacle that makes no sense. So at least it makes some sense to what we're actually doing. So let's come up in this hallway here. It's basically just one way. It won't look like you're going the right way, but you are. Because if you obviously haven't come in and done it on the raid, which some of you won't have done, because you'll have just watched people do it rather than participate in the race, then you won't know exactly where to go. There's no objective markers, so you literally just follow the stairs. You don't need to jump around the corner or anything like that, just follow the stairs. In this room there's a bunch of symbols. I obviously ignore these for now, we're not doing any of that. And there's another room here, and then you're on to the second encounter. So the second encounter will bring you up to the second encounter of the raid, basically, or the first main encounter, however you want to call it. And this is fixed. Obviously in the raid the symbols tell you where to go, you know. The guy who's on runner for their side will go in the room, find the symbol, and then well, the obelisk will tell you what the symbol is, you go to that room. But on this mission it's all fixed, so you just need to go to the same location. You don't need to sort of think about the symbols, but it is, if you haven't raided, it's going to teach you mini raid mechanics, I guess, because it's going to teach you when you kill the chieftain you get the symbol, but you only get one symbol, there's only one chieftain. It's not light or dark, you haven't got to do any of that light or dark symbol that you have to in the raid, just one symbol. I would just look at it and then you'll know what it means, because then you'll start to get it that this whole room has a bunch of different symbols that sort of tell you where the next room is. Clear out the chieftain, all the ads. So symbol square, but it's always square, okay? So that I know that's at the back of the map. But if you're unsure, you just need to run around till you see ads. Till you see red on the radar, then you start proceed. There's going to be a bunch of snipers that spawn outside while you're killing the chieftain, so just be careful you don't get spawned, sniped by those. Use a bit of the fusion, show that off. Then there'll be some ogres at the back. They aren't ultras, just orange bars. So they'll die pretty quick. But just don't have all three of them seeing you at once. Or two, is it two? Might be two spawn. Yeah, just the two. Don't have all of them seeing you. In between, get the ogres down first and then the remainder adds. This is the final room that we need to go into. Which, as I said, it is the same each time. It actually hasn't got any RNG. It'd be actually funny if it was, but it isn't. It's the same final room. This is the final room, which you're going to have 3 fanatic type enemies, ultras. We've got a tether which I haven't used yet in this room, so we're going to save it for the end. Now my armor situation is rubbish. I'm going to be honest. So my clear of this could have been a little bit better, a little bit faster, but I just didn't have the ammo at the end. But that's fine. Next symbol, so we'll check that out. We go back out. This wasn't the final room, sorry. This is what I'm going to go to now, the final room. Snipers again are out on the outside. So this is the true final room. So there'll be a lot of ads everywhere. There's some snipers that spawn, Ravengers spawn, they can freeze you, there's the Stasis ones. So I'm waiting on my nade. You can see my nade's 90%. That's what I'm going to lead off with now. Do a dodge, I'll get volatile rounds. And use a bit of black Talon. And that sorts out one chieftain. I go to that chieftain because he's on the right on his own, so to speak, a little bit. We use a tether on this one here. And go invisibility because I was weak. And then just one chieftain left. It looks like the ads are infinite spawning, I believe, or I'm not sure, or percentage based. I wasn't 100% because the ads did keep spawning. Once I cleared all these ads, I got another wave, which I didn't expect. I thought it would be just me and the last fanatic, but it wasn't. Ammo's bad. They're all snipers, orange bars that I can notice surrounding the boss. Take those out. As I said, if I had the heavy spam, I would have finished this off a little quicker, but it's a cool mission nonetheless. That was a solo flawless on this Preservation Pinnacle mission. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
The score and me